Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Spideydude Experience. It's kind of a weird one because it's a crossover with the Bogenrieder Variety Hour. So if you're watching us on YouTube, I got the old graphic up. I'm sorry I didn't have time to update it yet. But if you're watching us, hello and welcome to another exciting episode. Now, we originally weren't going to record today, but there's enough stuff that's been going on that we thought we'd kind of combine the two things. So I want to give a special shout out to our friends at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Thanks to Minkman and Scott and Greg. I'll get that updated very soon. But yeah, thank you guys for your contributions and support. Of course, I am actually still working actively on the on creating the channel on Apple Podcasts, so hopefully that'll be up and live very soon. And so we got some more stuff coming as we start our second season of Make My Mayday, and got some more stuff like Voices from the Area Gargoyles podcast. Of course, you can go back to our archives, go find the Spectacular Radio podcast with myself and Greg Washansky. All 52 episodes are now out and live. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you actually have access to Voices from the Erie's first episode. So if you want to become a subscriber, go to patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Visit the page. You'll get the shout out at the beginning of the episode as we get started. Of course, also at the very end of the episode too. So you get that exclusive feature. We already announced this, but we're going to be doing our audio commentaries of cartoons on our Patreon page as well. That'll be coming this fall. And so we're really excited about the future of the Spideydude Radio Network. And of course, I'm your friendly neighborhood host, Zach Joyner. Hello. Yeah, there he is. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're an audio listener and you're listening to the audio version of the show, I just want to make a quick disclaimer about the visual aids and references we might make throughout this episode. And with that, we'll get officially started. Neil, we can get started on the other side. So we are simulcasting live, not only on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and our Twitter page, but we're also...
It's a crossover episode.
It's a crossover episode, so we are on twitch.tv/QuillShiv. I always say...
Sniv.
Is it Sniv?
It's Sniv, yes.
I don't know why.
It's an N.
It's an N. It's an N.
It's an N.
Yeah. Be sure to go to the Bogenrieder Variety Hour, 8 p.m. usually on twitch.tv/QuillSniv. Also, he's not here, but I'll also give a shout out to the Comic Binge YouTube channel and at Herman22 on Twitter. All right. So without further ado, let me get started, and I'm going to introduce the panels. You can't see his face because his face is on Twitch, but not on StreamYard.
You get to see my beautiful mug on Twitch, so go there.
Staples has ruined me. Yeah. Staples has ruined me, a.k.a. the host of the Bogenrieder Variety Hour, Neil. Welcome to the show, or welcome to your show. I don't know how this works.
Welcome to our show. This is
our show.
Okay, that's it.
Why did Malcolm McDowell?
What? Okay, you start with like Malcolm McDowell, and that sounds like a lead into like some edgy joke.
No, my daughter just literally grabbed the microphone, grabbed the headphone, and goes, "Can you stop doing that voice?" Because she's ornery. Next up, we got Adam Beyond from not from the Great Beyond, but from Beyond everything.
God,
in a couple months, my clone brother might replace me on this show.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And with the facepalm himself, at From Erie, the host of Voices from the Area Gargoyles podcast, available now on our Patreon page of the Spideydude Radio Network, Greg XB.
I did not want to be right. I really did not want to be right.
He was a little prophetic. So, for those that don't know, if this is your first time listening,
hey, real quick,
Last
Can you-
episode.
Could it put it in like group view, because it's really awkward having Greg's only like the left side of his face viewable. So there we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's better.
If you're watching us on the Twitch channel, he's got the live comments. So I don't have those live comments on this side. So we got Vinkman watching on YouTube. Hello, Vinkman. Okay, so let me kind of explain what Greg's talking about for those that have not. Maybe they've missed a week. Which why have you missed a week? I mean, come on,
You fool.
you fool.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll never miss a week ever again.
Exactly. If you subscribe, like, share, and subscribe, don't forget the notification bell. You will get notified. Like when we decided to put this together at the very, 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 very last minute.
Yeah.
This was not necessarily planned, so it was not on the events page. Sorry, guys. It's just things are kind of crazy, as you heard. Maybe the child is still with
We got
me.
huge
so.
breaking news.
But there is a lot. There's some breaking
There's a
news.
lot of news. Spencer Bros, we lost. Hard. So do you mind if I take this one?
Yeah, so I'll find the official press release and I'll share the screen.
The hints were there, the writing was on the wall, and I was hoping you guys would talk me out of thinking it.
So what ended up happening was, so Nick Spencer, who's been writing Amazing Spider-Man for the past 3 years, has announced that his final his final issue, ASM number 74, with legacy number 875, is going to be his last one before he leaves for Substack. It's going to be like an 80-page spectacular or something. It has all the artists who have been on the run since issue 50, Mark Bagley, Pat Gleason, Marcelo Ferreira.
Neil's favorite.
Yeah, we have God, and then Satan. All together in one 80-page single issue spectacular.
It doesn't
with
say there are any
Peter-
backups, but that might change, I guess.
I assume that Spencer has like enough content available that he can get all that he can fill up 80 pages worth of content.
It might
like
be
a
like
more- it's like-
850, where the story was really long, and then there were like a couple page backups in the back, maybe.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm sharing CBR. So
I mean, it's fine, I guess, when they're reporting actual news and not like trying to have opinion pieces.
Well, the people on the CBR forums were celebrating Nick Spencer's
Which
departure.
they hate
Good for
him
them.
for no reason.
well, that's
Which-
because that. But didn't they hate? Okay, didn't they hate on the slot run too, or was that the?
I
Was
don't-
that
No, they
I
love
don't-
Slot's runs because Slot.
Okay, so there you go.
Because Slot came to CBR and slobbed their knobs. So
No, of course. Well, I mean, listen. Again, I don't want to discourage anybody for being a slot fan. However,
we are going to dunk on people for being Slot fans.
well, no. I mean, listen. Paul who's normally on the show. He just couldn't be on tonight.
We
He's got
love
a lot-
Paul.
And I love Paul.
This is Paul. Greg is Paul now.
No.
Whenever we need someone to fill in, Greg is now taking on their personality. He's now
God.
them.
All right. Anyway. So
He was
I don't think Paul
He
wants
was
me doing that.
he was second. He was Bertoni too back in ASM 66. So
But I've also known Bertoni for over a decade, so that fit.
Also
Yeah,
Zach.
like-
Zach, your camera is frozen.
yeah, I don't know why.
Oh my god.
It might be on.
Okay, you guys can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear you
yes.
just fine.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know why my cam is frozen. Don't ask me. So I'm gonna probably not be on cam because it's still frozen. It's funny because like Chi-Town Spidey, who's a friend of the show, is just started texting me.
Yeah.
Talk about it. I'm live on
Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Well, while he's doing that,
On
Venkman, if
two
you're watching,
avenues.
thank you for the feedback for the first episode of Voices from the Area. I appreciated it.
Yeah, so thank you, Adam. You sent me the link, and I did not see it until just now.
That's okay.
So, but no, listen, I I posted on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter thread that I made.
Oh,
I am
I saw it.
I am and I'll talk about this even more next week, in a couple of weeks when we record. Because I'm going to probably end up taking my desktop at least temporarily up to Nebraska. So, because I think I'm going to have enough space. But, I am profoundly disappointed. I did not want this run to end. I have been on record, obviously, with this show about how much I've adored this. So, okay, I'm gonna have to.
Is it possible it's unplugged?
No, it's still working. It's. Let me see if I bump the resolution.
Modern
up.
technology.
Yes.
So for those of us, okay,
There you
it's
go.
working
There you
now.
go.
All right, and
Yeah,
it
there
looks
we go.
better because I'm now in 720p instead of 480.
Yeah.
But I am profoundly disappointed in this turn of events.
I think it was because Spencer left for Substack, or did ASM ending give him the opportunity to leave for Substack? 'Cause that was a big deal. That was a big deal. Substack's trying to scoop up a bunch of comic creators and pair them with artists to create content.
I hope he's living on his own terms.
I hope he is too. I would love. I have been trying to reach out through various channels to see if we can get him on the show. I would love to have him on the show, especially now that the run's ended. I know he's been avoiding doing podcasts and stuff like that, so I'm hoping that with kind of in September when things kind of start settling down and we get to the end of the run, that they'll be able to that he'll feel more comfortable reaching out and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that. Sorry, I saw that there was a little bit of echo, so I apologize. I'm hoping that we get a solid resolution. One of my biggest gripes has been, and I haven't really griped about this with the Spencer run, but in modern comics, it seems that we get these big epic story arcs, and they fail to stick the landing.
It's kind of been a thing I'm
really
worried about
hoping
with.
that we can stick the landing here.
It's been something I've kind of been worried about with Ewing's Immortal Hulk, because it feels like the pace is kind of not necessarily ground to a halt, but it's definitely slowed since issue 25. And that's something I'm kind of worried about with Spencer's run after issue 25 as well. I guess they just kind of hit that road bump at the same time. Also kind of something that happened with X-Men, which I guess is kind of indicative of like Marvel trying to revitalize their big brands and then not really knowing where to go with after they succeeded. But I do think, in my mind, Spencer's going to stick the landing on this. Hopefully he will. I don't think I've had any reason to doubt him so far. My main worry is that like he's not going to have enough time to finish up all these like drifting plot points, and there's certainly not as many as there were before King's Ransom and Chameleon Conspiracy. But you'll notice that in
which, for the record, we're gonna be finishing Chameleon Conspiracy the next time we record.
Hi, Gabby. Yeah. You're muted, by the way.
Why are you eating gum?
I'm not.
I'm eating gum, but you can't hear that because I'm not chewing when I'm talking. Anyway, all right.
Is that aimed at me?
No.
Oh,
It's my child. My child
okay.
She walks up. She goes, "Dad, why are you eating gum?" So.
But yeah, I'm sad.
So Vinkman says, live on our YouTube chat, I've said this in other places, but Spencer deserves a round of applause for reinvigorating ASM. After suffering through Slot, none of us thought Spider-Man could be salvaged. Spencer's proved us wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Zach's cam was frozen and Neil was audio only on YouTube's end. Yeah, that's because
That's deliberate.
that's deliberate. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can't see Neil, but if you're watching on Twitch,
You can.
see Neil. So is there any live chat? You got chatter going on over
I've
there?
got I got one viewer.
Okay.
I think it might be Vinkman. I don't know.
You might be jumping back and forth, which if you are, you poor man. But so Greg, I mean, you've been on the least amount of episodes of this show. Kind of give me your thoughts of what you think about Spencer.
What do I think? I mean, I remember the controversy with Captain America. I've never really read that run, but I've heard from people who actually did read it, ignoring the controversy, that it's pretty good. It just came out at a weird time. And
yeah, the timing on it was absolutely horrid. Like in terms of like the political stuff at the time, and because Cap is so uniquely wound into U.S. politics, it just came out at a really bad time. I made a comment a while back, I think on the Crawl Space forums, that if this had come out in like a different time, like 2014, and discussing like the idea of security theater and the idea of our heroes not being who we thought they were, that this would have been much more well received.
Yeah, indeed. But as for a Spider-Man run, he proved that you can't, that even a terrible writer who's on the book for 10 years cannot kill this character. He showed us just how strong this character, his supporting cast, his rogues gallery, and his world is. I mean, I think we all in our hearts knew, but we were so jaded after a decade of bullshit. And and each issue, I never graded a single issue below a B-. And the reason why is, I know some people have, but even the weaker issues were parts of a whole, and the story arcs, when you read them all at once in a trade, were fine. They were good. I mean,
invigorating.
Yeah, I mean, the worst one, the 2099 one, even I'll give that a C. It wasn't awful.
Yeah, it's
right,
and it helps that
to me that has been the worst arc of this entire run,
and it was still okay.
Yeah, and it was okay. Yeah. It was passable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was Gleason's debut, but
I feel bad for Gleason. He's kind of gotten the raw end of the deal in terms of, being one of Marvel's Stormbreakers, like the new kind of equivalent of the Young Guns, and he's only gotten to do, hang on, I'm counting on my fingers here, 32, 33, 34, 50, 51, 52, 60, 61. He's only gotten to do 9 issues, or 8 or 9 issues out of 55. Did I count 55 originally?
No.
60, 61, 62. I think about 10 issues, around upwards of 10 issues on this run. Now, granted, Otley was on for much longer, and he only did about 27 issues, I think. Yeah. But I feel like because they hyped Gleason up as part of the main rotating art team, that I kind of wish he was there more. But I love what we got from him.
I agree, and look, I think he's been good. I think Bagley has been a great addition. I wish Otley would come and draw a couple of a few pages for the finale.
Can't go wrong with Bagley.
But I'm fine with Bagley. Bagley's obviously doing the Sinister War stuff.
It looks great.
Yeah, listen,
it does.
The scene from today's issue that sets
also,
it up.
It's happening.
yeah. I mean, it was good. It was good stuff. So, I am A-okay with the series.
Mm-hmm. I really can't complain. It's been terrific, and some of the names that I've been seeing tossed around as replacements are filling me with a little bit of dread, but I'll give whoever it is a chance because, quite frankly, I'm a part of this, so I have to.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. You can leave at any time. The window's right there. You just gotta jump out.
We're not holding you hostage.
Yeah. You only have to do your gargoyles thing. That's it.
Yeah.
No, we'll see. I'll give whoever it is a chance.
So do we want to talk about that now?
I mean, let's be honest. We all gave Nick Spencer a chance after everyone railroaded him for his controversial Cap run, which really shouldn't have happened.
But yeah, Zach, you're muted again.
Sorry, I keep muting my board. Listen, I am down for seeing a Zeb Wells.
Do we want to talk about like the lead up to it, to what to what we've learned first before we kind of just
let's
dive right in.
Let me
So-
jump on Twitter and I'll share the wealth.
So while I was at work and the power went out, I went on my lunch break, and the first thing I see when I go on my phone is a tweet from Zeb Wells, and it says "Beyond" in the logo of. If you've ever read Next Wave Agents of Hate or Ewing's Mighty Avengers, is the logo of the Beyond Corporation. And also, I think they made it as like a very tiny like a logo cameo in Spencer's ASM is one of the logos Peter wears in ASM number 4.
Oh, nice.
And then Kelly Thompson posted a picture of Ben Reilly's Spider-Man, Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider logo. And then Pat Gleason posted what Zach just posted up there, a picture of Peter and MJ doing something like the upside down kiss where Peter's gotten the crap beaten out of him.
Yeah.
And with someone noticed with a ring on her finger.
Oh yeah, let me say something really quick. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's on the right hand. It should be on the left hand. Doesn't mean anything." The symbolism of the ring on the finger.
The fact that there is a ring there is the more important focal point.
Yes.
The fact, okay, so
We
this
know
is
what that
Pat Gleason
we know what that
shared.
means.
Hang on, I gotta
not
remove
just-
it.
come on.
Hang on. I'm removing the chat. I'm removing the chat box so people can see the ring.
She's not just wearing that just because.
That means something, especially with like the reveal of was it Dark Ages today, where
Right.
MJ and Peter are married with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a mirror. Somebody put it's a mirror. That's why the ring is that way. Oh,
Yeah, and
So
okay.
I did see a comment that was like, if you flip it, then it's not on the right hand anymore.
Yeah, and then later, that post right there, Saladin Ahmed, who's the Miles Morales writer, posted this picture of
Love that costume.
a new Spider-Man costume.
I love that costume.
Okay, I'm
man.
not gonna lie. It
Badass.
looks a lot like Ben. It looks a lot like Ben. However,
But crooked.
Mashup.
it's
The symbol being on the heart feels a little too on the nose.
it is a little
I like
weird.
it though.
The asymmetry
it, man.
the asymmetry is interesting, but I don't think we've ever had a costume like this, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. But
It's
then,
I love it.
Then
Dun dun dun. What to my wandering eye should appear.
my brain.
The motherfucker appeared.
This is definitely not
Pull
going to
that
be for
up.
kids. Episode.
Never. This is Bogenrieder Variety Hour, my guy.
Yeah. So then we get this one, which is Ben Reilly
With the
looks
peach
like-
fuzz,
Who's that masked
as Mike
man?
put it.
CSC will never end.
No. This is the thing. This is the point where the torch gets passed from CSC to this show, honestly, because this is the
Listen,
next
because-
ASM
okay,
run,
like, I'm
guys.
going to tell you guys right now, because of this, I'm waiting on, and for those that can't see me, I've got the Miles Morales last week's issue, the Clone Saga. I'm literally waiting on that to finish. I'm going to do a solo recording of me talking about that book, and then I'm going to do the finale of CSC. Like that's and we're gonna wrap up the 90s stuff, and if there's new stuff, it's gonna be on SDE. Those guys are always invited.
Yep.
They know this.
Venkman just posted that the Bogenrieder Variety Hour may not be suitable for children. This recording of the Bogenrieder Variety Hour is sponsored by the Beyond.
Spectacular radio shirt.
This episode of Bogenrieder Variety Hour is sponsored by the Beyond Corporation. We are not liable for any injury or death. Hang on, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I can't hear myself, and that's weird. But yeah, it's weird seeing this. Like now that we have like Spencer's final issue on the horizon. It's weird seeing. Yeah, right there is the Kelly Thompson
Now
Black
this is
Widow.
where I got
Mega hyped.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah, the vapors.
Mm-hmm.
it's like okay, this is where I went, oh? And I have said this on CSC. I've never said this on this show. One of the reasons that I like the Ben Reilly as Spider-Man era is because of the fact it's kind of a perfect solution. Because on one hand, you have a married Peter Parker
Who gets his happy ending.
On the other hand, you get your swinging single Peter Parker who just happens to go by the name Ben Reilly. So it is a solution that works to placate both sides of the spectrum.
Well, unless you get like the diehard Peter fans, like I've got a group of people in Discord that are like they're not going to pick up the run because it's Ben Reilly and not Peter.
Listen, I'm going to give it a chance. Am I
Wow,
excited
I haven't
about
heard
this?
from people like that in over a decade.
Last time I heard about those type of people, it was talking about this guy, Miles Morales.
I was going to say 2 decades, but then I realized, oh yeah, they got mad because Miles replaced Peter.
It was 2011 because I was at San Diego Comic-Con when they announced that initiative with Ultimate. So, hello, Ryan Reed.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a chance. I kind of talked about it earlier. I think what they might be doing is setting up for like a Spider-Man family book, like like if anyone remembers DC Rebirth, Tinian the Fourth Detective Comics was like a Batman family book.
Yep.
And that's what I thought, and that's what that's kind of been on my wish list for how I want the Spider books to go in terms of satellites. Like they condense all of the books into one main like team book. And just go from there. And since Flash is back as Agent Anti-Venom now,
right,
we've got all the characters I want there. We've got Miles, we got Jess, we got Cindy, we got Flash, we got Anya. I guess she's there, and then I guess you can put in Gwen if you really want to. But the point is that I've always considered that like the go-to compromise. Just cancel all the satellite books and condense them into one major book, so everyone gets one book. And I guess you're just kind of end Spencer's ASM and I guess either relaunch and continue or with a new number 1 or continue with the numbering of this run. I really hope they continue with the numbering on this run.
It's going to be a new number 1.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
no,
listen,
you're
right.
I
would love to see the legacy numbering becoming the normal.
Especially since we're on the road to 900.
We are so close. I can understand not wanting to do it for 850 or 825 or whatever. But because Slott had to end on 801, because he had to have that one extra issue, to me, that entire issue should have been half of. I'd have paid an extra $1 or extra $1.50 on 800 just to get that last story and let him get it out of the system. The problem with that last story was it was so daggum close to the final issue of Spectacular.
And Zdarsky did it first and better.
Zdarsky did it first and better. I think it would have had much more of an impact had it not been done 3 months or 6 months between the same exact stories. So it's frustrating because it should be very easy. It should be very simple. Because issue 74, today is issue 69. So we have 5 issues.
Nice.
We're not covering issue 69 today. We'll cover it in a couple of weeks. We'll probably cover 3 issues next time we record.
Venkman says every time the Gabby pops up in your background, you got to take a drink.
Listen, if you
Don't
do that
in front of your kid.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm not doing that in front of my child. Sorry. Matt Giovanni says hello, everyone. What kind of comments are we getting on the Twitch side, my friend?
It's just Venkman.
Oh, it's just Venkman.
He loves us.
Venkman is we got 3 people watching.
He's a God fan.
So be sure to share and subscribe. If you guys have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. We are so close to 100 subscribers. We're trying to get to that little threshold. And then the march begins to 500. And then the march begins to 1,000.
I had a friend who sent me a message on Discord. He said, "Hey, I sent him a picture of Ben Reilly, and they said, 'Hey, I didn't know you were an amazing Spider-Man.'" So, I mean, I actually technically made a cameo in ASM 38 as the guy who Jameson steals his coffee from. The guy in the orange hoodie.
Earlier, Neil, you were saying, because I said like, oh, this is like Marvel's basically saying like, oh, you want married Peter? Well, he can't be Spider-Man. Ben's got to be Spider-Man. And you were like,
I'll be
F it, I'll be
Spider-Man.
yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this is perfect. So what we do is it's called Spider Neil, and we take that intern and we basically just he becomes you. He is you now.
It's like the Riri Williams of the Spider-Man franchise.
And he somehow, he probably gets bitten by another spider, and then he's Spider Neil. It's perfect.
I mean, it happened with Cindy, and it happened with Miles, and it happened with not Jessica. Clash.
So Matt, for the record,
that's what we're talking about.
We are literally talking about that right now.
So my worry about this is the rotating writers. That's what worries me.
My biggest concern is Kelly Thompson. I've not read anything I disliked of hers, but she doesn't give me a lot of like.
Whoa! I'm so excited, guys.
Because Spencer, at least with Superior Foes, was a part of the editorial team. Part of the Spider-Man group for a while.
Yeah.
If it was Jed McKay, I'd be like, all right.
Because he's knocking it out of the park on Black Cat.
He's killing it on Black Cat.
But I understand why he's not doing it, because he's got Black Cat, he's got the new Moon Knight series coming out in July, and then he's also doing that Avengers pilot Pacific Rim Robots book, Mech Strike. So I get why he's not doing it. I wish he was, because he really got Spider-Man that King in Black one shot.
Yeah. No, I just read that on Marvel Unlimited. It's available online right now on Marvel Unlimited. So if you don't have it, check it out. But my biggest gripe and issue is I don't have a lot of faith. Zeb Wells was very hot and cold with me. Okay, Zeb Wells, I enjoyed his initial arc. That
was the Blizzard one, right?
On Brand New Day initial arc, yes, that was the Blizzard one. But I think that was more because of the visuals and that was probably my favorite Chris Bachalo Spider-Man.
Did you do Shed?
Yeah, he was the one who did Shed with Bachalo.
He did Shed.
That's why I'm ambivalent.
No, here's the thing. I will play defense for at least Zeb Wells, because I think Zeb Wells since then has kind of rehabilitated his image, because he's the guy who wrote the Ant-Man mini in 2020, the one with Dylan Burnett, where Scott and Cassie fought together. Yeah. And then he also did. He's doing Hellions right now for the X-Men line, and that's a great book. It's probably one in my top quarter of X-Men books right now.
Well, listen, again, Zeb Wells' career at Marvel with Spider-Man is pretty extensive. He finished out the second volume of Peter Parker Spider-Man. Not a lot of people may know that.
I think he also did a couple of arcs for Web, didn't he?
He did a couple of not a couple of arcs, but he did write some things during.
I think it was I think it was the last arc, the one with Pepe Larraz with MJ and Black Cat. Or
yes.
I think it was someone else.
He did those. He did a couple of the what do they call it? Gauntlet tie-ins with Web. So that is true.
I think he was the one. I think he did the one with Rhino, didn't he? Or was that Joe Kelly?
Joe Kelly did the Rhino story.
Okay.
He left after Shed. So he did Shed because him and Slott were the only ones, because you have the Webheads and the Brain Trust. The Brain Trust came before the Webheads. The Brain Trust was Zeb Wells, Slott, Mark Guggenheim, and who was the
Mark Waid, I think.
No, not Mark Waid. It was Bob Gale.
Oh, yeah.
And those were the four Brain Trust guys. Bob Gale left first. Then Guggenheim left because he got all the opportunities at DC.
Yeah, I think he started screenwriting, and that's why he took off for a while.
Yeah,
he didn't reappear until X-Men Gold.
Well, and that between that, and I think also he was pretty busy, producing half the Arrowverse. because he was one of the main.
Yeah, he was one of the
actually
main. He was the pillar head of.
Yeah, he was the showrunner for Arrow, I think, at certain points. Certainly was one of the main writers and executive producer of the show. So obviously he was off doing bigger things than, writing writing comics. So, and Bob Gale, like I said, he left, then Guggenheim left, then Zeb Wells left, and then then they brought in Joe Kelly and Mark Waid, and there was a fourth one. I don't remember who exactly it was.
I think I remember him too. I just don't remember his name.
Because Guggenheim's last issue was the Flash Thompson loses his legs issue.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure it may have been Zeb Wells. It may have been. So Vinkman has a question. Now it's officially ending. Are we finally going to see oversized hardcovers, at least Epic's collections of Spencer's ASM run? That's why I still haven't pulled the trigger on the standard trades.
Yeah, I really do want some. I at least want like the Epic collections. If we get the oversized hardcovers or like an omnibus, I'll be really happy.
I'm buying the trades as they come out also, but I wouldn't buy oversized, but I would buy an omnibus.
But I don't mean like just oversized editions of like the main trades. I'm talking like they combine like the Immortal Hulk hardcovers where they have like 10 where they have like 10 issues to a trade.
Yes, I know.
Like kind of like the Marvel Masterworks style of hardcovers,
or like 15, because if you do it right, because ASM 15 1 to 15, and then you have 16 with all the tie-ins, the hunted.
Somebody was saying that like it's going to be like 96 total issues if you combine the.
He's 4 away from 100 issues, and I'm like I don't care if he gets to his 100. He's done 96, and that's honestly close enough.
And frankly, again, I think he's trying not to stay. I think the problem, and I talked about this on Twitter, the problem with the slot run after Superior ended
was it went on forever.
Was that Volume 3 and Volume 4 felt like we were treading water. Felt like at that point we're just, especially Volume 3. Volume 3 is pretty awful.
And I imagine part of it was because like that they knew Secret Wars was coming. And so they just felt like they had to like tread the water for a bit, wait until that shiny new relaunch. We're good.
And then we never get an adequate explanation of, you literally go from, if you're sitting there just reading
Parker Industries literally blows up.
Yeah, literally is in ruins. The final issue of Volume 3. You get to Volume 4 and suddenly,
Peter's Iron Man now.
Peter's Iron Man, and you're like,
it was an international conglomerate.
I think they actually did explain it, because they've explained like Otto like dicked around with the stock market for a bit, but that makes no sense.
But it still doesn't give an adequate explanation. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying they did try to explain it. It just wasn't a very good explanation.
It's magic. We don't got to explain it, and I'm bringing that chestnut back. But basically, that's what it was. And so you get to Volume 4, and it's like,
Peter's Iron Man now, and they didn't do anything with it. That's the most embarrassing thing, is that they like flashed off some new toys and like a rocket ship and stuff. But like, I think it would have been cool to, because like Iron Man is known for like providing the Avengers with their gear and stuff. I think it would have been neat to see like Peter fill that niche. I don't think it would have been in character for Peter, but I think if they had at least done something with it with the wider Marvel universe, that it would have at least justified his existence.
Well,
because Iron Man was experiencing an economic downturn in his solo book, so I think it would have been a good universal cohesion to try and fill that niche that Tony left behind.
Well, and I think, with Spencer going back and reading every Spider-Man book, by the way, I think was a CSC reference for those that don't know. He says, "Oh, it's magic." That used to be the outro to every CSC episode. So, but yeah, no, I'm not, for copyright purposes, going to make that the outro, because I already can tell you that.
Goodbye.
YouTube and Spotify.
If I put
kick our ass.
One of the reasons that I have not put CSC up on YouTube is because of that. Because not only that, but I also I think there was an episode where I did like war. I have that, and then so Abra.
I'm amazed the final episode of Spec Radio hasn't been flagged with that Sarah McLachlan music that we used.
Well, I haven't put that up on YouTube yet. So
okay.
If it happens, then I may. They have something in the YouTube algorithm that allows the music part to be removed. So we'll see. I'll have to. Eventually, I'm going to get everything back up on YouTube, but excuse me, that's the plan.
But yeah, I'm probably not gonna. I'm kind of on the fence about this new ASM run. I'm glad Spencer's getting to actually conclude his run instead of abandoning like he did Morning Glories in the Fix. So that's good. That said, I am a little concerned about like the rotating writers team, or like what they did with Uncanny X-Men before the Hickman run started, where like they had Kelly Thompson, Ed Brisson, and Matt Rosenberg all writing the same book, and then like they got to a certain milestone or something, and then they relaunched it, or they didn't relaunch it, but Rosenberg took over full time.
Yeah. So
this might be a trial run. I think like they get to 25, like they relaunch to go to number 25, get that sweet ASM 900 money
or 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
24.
No, it'd be 25. It'd be 25.
It'll be 24.
Yeah, because
Who knows anymore?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to go to 25, see who got like the best reception or was able to put out the most work, and then give them the main title.
Obviously, everything we're talking about is purely speculative until we know more.
Yeah.
Which is tomorrow, technically, I think. Well, they're going to release more, but they released a lot today, so.
It's also, I would not be surprised if this is not released on a Friday, given the pretty good reception, other than CBR forums, that Spencer's received.
And some 4chan posters, but no one gives a shit about 4chan.
Right.
Okay, I don't take anything on 4chan seriously. Let's be real. Okay.
The Spider-Man threads lately are horrendous.
I don't go to 4chan for very specific reasons because I value my time more.
I go there just to see people melt down. It's hilarious.
So we get Ben.
Not enough hours in the day.
I don't think Miles. Well, Miles is he's getting like into the Spider-Verse version of the costume. But that's just corporate synergy right there.
I like the Into the Spider-Verse costume, so I'm fine with that.
It's almost the exact same. I mean, it's very
I mean,
it's a bit different, but
he's wearing like sweatpants and a long sleeve shirt. I think I said this before we hit the record button. It's not totally the same.
Oh, okay.
It's not like it doesn't look like he's wearing clothes over his actual costume. It looks like he's like wearing pajamas, kind of.
he got out of bed,
and we'll get a Marvel legend. We'll get a Marvel legend of this version of Miles, and Miles' costume looks like Kane's Scarlet Spider with costume with sneakers, which is somewhat accurate.
I like it. It at least makes him visually distinctive. That's one of the problems I've had with Miles being transferred to 616. I can live with him being there. Just give him something that visually distinguishes him from the others.
No, I mean he's just the inverse of Spidey, which is fine. I mean, and it worked. Truthfully, it worked in the Ultimate Universe because he wasn't trying to carry on Peter's legacy. Again, Into the Spider-Verse gets Miles better than I think any other medium other than the original run. So, I
still wonder to this day why Bendis chose to name a black character's father Jefferson Davis.
Yeah, I think in the new run, like he even like abandoned it to go to like Jefferson Morales or something, and he's like, and I think he even looked at Miles and said, "Why did my dad name me this?"
Well, it's like that Luke Cage character.
If that isn't that, Bendis,
the fact that you're a black man named after the Confederate president is probably not a good look. There,
I guess it's irony.
I would have cackled if like Jefferson turned to the camera and said, "States' rights, guys."
This episode, crossover of Spideydude Experience,
is brought to you by the Beyond Corporation.
Is brought to you by the Bogenrieder Variety Hour, where things are a little more blue.
Yeah. Apologies, Zach. I didn't expect it to go quite there. So.
But a friend we have in Jesus. My daughter just goes, not this again.
She's heard you sing that one before, hasn't she?
She's heard me make that joke before. A couple of different times. So,
where's she getting the sarcasm from? But I'm glad she's learning it.
Oh, between me and her mother, there was no doubt that there was going to be sarcasm. She was going to either learn it through osmosis or me, or be bred through her. Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, she shall appear.
Says Kindred.
Like I say, I am fine. I'm excited as a Ben Reilly fan, as like the Ben Reilly apologist on the internet, like 1 of 10. I'm excited. I want to see what they do. I was disappointed with the Peter David run, not because I think Peter David was a bad writer. I think editorial wise, Peter David had no attachment to Ben Reilly, and like he did for Miguel and Peter. So, and I think the concept was interesting, but going back and rereading it,
it's a victim of the clone conspiracy all the way.
The stench of clone conspiracy hung over that run. So for me, I'm going, okay, if we can do, a new run with Ben, they kind of shoehorn him getting better in Spider-Geddon.
Honestly, I was fine with that just because I loved how Gage was like, yeah, I'm better now. I'm good.
Yeah, but for Kane to be as accepting as he was because plot demanded it, I think
at one point, they more or less just ignored it.
Yeah. They did. They straight up did. Like
behavior wise, at least. Like Kane doesn't even bring it up. I don't think.
Kane literally was stabbed by Ben in the book
with a hook. Like Ben tears off his new girlfriend's prosthetic and stabs him with it. He's like, "Don't come back to Vegas, Bucko."
Stabs him in the chest, almost rips his collarbone out, and we're supposed to believe that everything's all hunky dory between the two. And you get to Spider-Verse, which comes out like a week later, and they're like, "Kane's fine." Kane doesn't have a healing factor, folks.
You mean Spider-Force?
Or Spider-Geddon.
Yeah,
I don't even. Is Kane still alive? I don't even know.
No, he's still alive. He and Ben are just chilling out in Vegas. Well, no, Ben's in space actually.
Yeah, Ben right now is in outer space in Iron Man's book
fighting Korvac. Josh
Feagle's recording for Spidey and Avengers Earth Mighty.
I don't know.
After today's Drake Bell news.
Oh, we haven't talked about that.
Do we want to? Can I do the song?
Please.
So
I'm gonna
give me a
and like say this is not for kids. So go on.
Give me a beat.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh shit! I forgot the lyrics. Hang on.
You literally asked me to give you a beat. I start giving you a beat, and you're like, you just literally crap the bed.
Not
here we go.
Kids. Oh wait, this is illegal in New York State.
Oh God!
Space man.
You fool. Okay, hang on. Okay, give me a beat, brother. Why did I say that? I never thought I'd go to prison.
That is the worst possible
I found
time
a way. I found a way.
Jesus.
Oh God.
How much did you hear? Gabriella,
over your shoulder, you know what I told you. I'll always be picking the soap when you're down. So don't turn around.
Okay, so for the record, so Neil is referencing Drake and Josh. So Drake Bell,
who sang that song,
sang the song, pled guilty Was it today that he
Yes.
pled guilty?
Yes.
Okay, so Drake Bell got arrested, what, 2 weeks ago?
Last week.
Yeah.
Last week. And Gabby, in fact, go in the other room, please. Thank you. As I'm not going to do this story with
With a small child in the room.
No.
It was like, what was it? Child
Talk about-
endangerment.
Talk about what Pee Wee Herman did instead. I'm kidding.
so
He actually
Okay.
he did nothing. He did nothing
for the
wrong.
record, my child
really,
is no
he did
longer
do
in the
nothing
room.
wrong.
My child is no longer in the room. So close the door. Of course, she doesn't close the door.
Close the door.
Didn't he get charged with like child endangerment?
So he pled to
Yeah.
child endangerment.
Yep.
So basically,
It's just basically the watered down version of the charge.
yeah. So okay, there has been allegations leveled against Drake Bell for,
For, like, years,
inappropriate contact with minors for at least 3-4 years. Okay. Because of that, they literally nobody brought any charges up, so it was always hearsay and it was always just
Allegations.
allegations. So apparently there was enough to charge him with in this particular case. So basically, as Vinkman eloquently put it, Drake Bell's a creeper.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going after 16, 17-year-old girls using his celebrity status to try to get them to send him inappropriate material that if it were me or anybody else on this call would get us in jail like that. Okay.
For good reason.
For
We
very
just-
good
we-
reason.
And
Yeah.
we would deserve it if
Mm-hmm.
I hope Drake Bell I hope Drake Bell gets what he deserves. Well, he did, but I honestly think he deserved more time in prison.
Well, he hasn't been sentenced yet.
No, because like the charge has like up to 2 years.
So basically, it looks like he's getting more or less. He's pleading to the lesser charge. Now, I know a lot of people are going to gripe and moan and be upset about the fact that he got a plea deal. But frankly, that's what you pay lawyers to do, especially when you're a guilty man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he has
because-
no money. He has no money. Like he was living
He's
in a van,
broke.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he had to declare bankruptcy when he was still voice
Twice.
acting as Spidey. The only reason we're talking about Drake Bell, for the record, is because he was the voice of Ultimate Spidey.
And
also
and
the
Earth's
voice of-
Mightiest Heroes Spidey. Yeah.
That
Still upsets me. Yeah.
So we're going to have Greg and I have talked about this, and I think we'll probably do it in 2022, but I think we're going to do the Earth's Mightiest Hero show because we got to at this point because
Yes.
there's so much stuff that people don't know about that show, about especially what went on in season 2, once Jeff Loeb got there.
Well, see, some of the stuff I heard was told to me in a private conversation. I don't know if I'm going to throw that stuff out there unless the person who I was speaking with comes on and decides to talk about that himself. So,
right, we're going to do reviews, and if they choose to spill the tea, then we'll give them the platform to do so.
I'm not going to
but-
say who that person is, but he might be on the next episode of Voices from the Eerie. Oh, I've said too much. Okay, who worked on both Gargoyles and Earth's Mightiest Heroes? This isn't hard. You can find this out really easily.
There's this thing called IMDb. It's very useful.
Oh no! All right, so yeah.
Oh,
by
come
the
on.
way,
Okay.
by the way, if you have not listened to Voices from the Eerie, go to
do that.
patreon.com/Spideydude Network, and you can listen to Voices from the Eerie's that first episode. It is live right now.
And one thing I do have to say, you know what? There will never be a consensus on who the best Spider-Man of all time is. It's never going to happen. I think it's Josh Keaton, but I'm speaking across the board, live action, voice actors, whether it's cartoons, video games, movies. But I think we can now all agree that Drake Bell is the worst Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look. I never had a problem with Neil Patrick Harris as Spidey. In fact, I really enjoyed him in Shattered Dimensions.
But he voiced the edgy MTV show.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, let's be real. That was more my problems with that again. And I've said this about Tom Holland. I've said this about Andrew Garfield. the writing was my problem. It's not the acting.
Nah,
It's not-
I will say the voice acting for MTV Spidey was a little stiff. I'm gonna be that
Yeah.
guy.
But it certainly didn't help that the animation style
Was
was
just
super
as
Voice
stiff.
directed that.
Yeah.
1 second. I'm trying to find out who voice directed that one.
wasn't
well,
it Bendis was a producer on that show?
No, I mean, who
Bendis
was the
and
voice
Bagley,
director?
I think Bendis and Bagley both had producer credits on the show.
Nah.
Yeah,
Because
but they wouldn't be
Spider-Man,
the
the
voice
CGI
directing it.
Spider-Man was based off Bagley. And speaking of mascots, hello, Waylon. So,
Big boy.
the big boy.
Hello.
We actually got a new puppy.
You have another one? Is that third?
As number 3.
Okay, the voice director for that was Susan Blue, and she's normally really good. She was the voice director on Beast Wars, for example.
Oh, speaking
And that
of,
showed some phenomenal voice acting.
Also, Beast Wars movie.
Yeah, I saw the best joke about that. Apparently, it's going to take place in both Brooklyn and in Peru. So, Dave Walkie, big Transformers fan, tweeted out the Beast Wars are going to start when Wars Megatron is in Brooklyn eating a Sbarro pizza with a knife and fork.
Oh, is that a We're Back a Dinosaur story reference?
I don't know. I just know that if you go to
No, I
Brooklyn,
don't
New
think-
York, and you order Sbarro pizza and eat it with a knife and fork, that's a bad thing.
listen,
Here's the
only-
thing, though. Here's the thing. If we don't get one line of Rat Trap, I'm gonna be mad.
Yes.
Suspenseful
SoFlo
music.
Entertainment. Hello, SoFlo. By the way, go check out his YouTube channel. It's SoFlo.
Drake Bellows Abrams, man.
Drake Bell's
God,
Abrams,
I'm not sure what that means totally.
That's not necessarily true. There are some real actors that make good voice actors.
Cree Summer is amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, voices from the area: Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, Keith David, Sally Richardson, for example, Ed Asner.
Yeah. Ed Asner's, not dead, by the way. Another
No,
podcast.
That
God.
really pissed me off when another podcast said that. That really pissed me off. That was the final push I needed to do mine.
When they said Ed Asner's dead. You're like,
I'm still
what?
waiting for Keith David to do a reboot of Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. It's
you
fake.
go.
Didn't Frakes
No,
do
this-
that?
Yeah, that's
he
the
did.
joke.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's fake. No way. It's a fabrication. We made it up. Jonathan Frakes telling you you're wrong for 47 seconds.
Someone actually took Jonathan
Yeah.
Frakes asking new questions and edited Xanatos clips over that.
Oh,
Hang on,
no.
here we go. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna play it on YouTube real quick, on Twitch.
For those of you watching on YouTube, it's not playing.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You have to watch Bogenrieder Variety Hour for the meme.
Yeah.
So imagine Xanatos like saying you're wrong for 47 seconds. Like the way Jonathan Frakes even does it in the show, like when he loves how he bamboozled the audience. That's exactly how Xanatos would act.
I just posted
got
the
my
questions
Keikaku.
one in the chat so Zach can play that if he would like to. It's only a few seconds.
All right. Let me. All right. So again, I don't know if it's gonna play.
But I remember like watching Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction, and then like when the story was supposedly true, he would say something like, "Our sources tell us this happened somewhere in the Northeast, like somewhere incredibly geographically
Somewhere.
All right,
vague."
let me see if this is gonna play.
Somewhere.
Let's see if this is gonna play.
Why are you breathing into the mic? Like, and I've always wanted to be gaslighted by Jonathan Frakes for 47 seconds. So
Gaslighted by
happened?
Jonathan
Did it
Frakes.
happen?
That may as well be the secondary title for Gargoyles. Gaslighted by Jonathan Frakes.
and then Dicked with by Brent Spiner is the rest of the Gargoyle series.
Were you guys able to hear that?
No.
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 Son of a biscuit.
You can't share a screen
Maybe-
when it's YouTube?
No. Well, no, because like if hang on. F11. I actually went full screen. If I could download it, then I can play it that way, but I can't download it. So sorry.
It's all right.
So anyway, I was playing that and you guys were talking. I was like, I don't know if you guys can hear me because I had muted myself, so that way I wasn't breathing into the mic.
It happens.
All right. Well, now
Yeah.
what?
You want to talk about Sword?
Yeah, we can talk about Sword. I have not been reading Sword, so I don't read X-Men stuff. So I'm gonna let you
Drake
take
Bell
over.
might be getting some sword in prison.
Oh
God.
no! Why?
Well, edit that out. Edit that out right now.
I am your sword.
And by
I
the
am
way,
your...
technically that's not supposed to happen because of Priya.
Okay.
Oh no. Yeah. God damn it, Greg. Now I have to edit my thing, and I hate editing my
Jesus
stuff.
Christ, Kashansky! Like, I am so glad my kid wasn't in here to.
This episode of the
grab
Bogen-
headphones from my head.
This episode of the Bogenrieder Variety Hour is brought to you by the Beyond Corporation.
Whoa.
I promise I wouldn't have said that if she was in there.
No, yes, you would have.
No, he wouldn't have. No, he wouldn't have. He didn't know better.
So anyways, Sword is a book where things happen in space.
Cool.
It's X-Men in space.
Which is just X-Men.
Yay. Yeah.
They've
They've done it before.
But anyways, so the newest issue came out today. It's issue 6. I don't know what it's got to remember what it's called in the inside. There's some really good art in here by Valerio Schiti. I'm actually really glad that Stefano Caselli is taking over as the interior artist because I love Schiti and I think he's very hard to replicate in terms of style. But I'm really glad we got in these 6 issues of him. It's very much based on like economics and like space economics and the deal of like how to deal with a galactic economy that's been broken by a literal latex black guy. That sounded weird. That's okay. I'm gonna stop
Latex
talking.
black guy.
So he's actually
Null. It's
Oh,
Null.
God. Oh my god.
But the real
We're gonna
zinger,
get canceled.
yeah, but the real
Good
zinger
run.
is at the end in Magneto's Sentinel Funhouse. He's having a drink with his helmet, and in walks spoilers, guys. It's Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, which is weird because she wasn't invited to the Hellfire Gala, and she doesn't have like that little flower that you need to get into the Krakoan portals, which means she might be a mutant again. And which is big considering like back in 2015, Remender's Uncanny Avengers, they retconned her being a mutant away
Well, we know why they
basically,
did that.
because
Well, we
movie.
Movie.
And then like they have a little moment together, and then Magneto goes, "You are my daughter, Wanda. You will always be my daughter, and I will do what I must to make things right." So I want to point this out. So imagine you're Polaris. You have been working for years to get Daddy's affection and approval, and then all of a sudden Hitler walks in, and your dad goes, "Hey, kiddo, what's up?"
Please no.
Wow. Have you ever seen Wolverine and the X-Men, the cartoon series? Polaris was his favorite in that one.
No, yeah, I just think it's funny that like Wanda killed like a million. Like, no, he didn't kill a million people, but he depowered a million people and brought the mutant race to near extinction. And yet he has more love for her here than he's ever shown Polaris in the comics.
That's Magneto. He's mass
Ruthless.
murdered a bunch of people too. Who is he to
Ruthless.
judge? Who is he to judge?
Sure, okay. I just think it's funny because in the book he's always been like Wanda's the pretender, and like she's literally the mutant pariah of Krakoa. Like Exodus is teaching people to hate her like she's Satan or something, and so here he's like, "Nah, you're good. Come on back. You're a mutant again. We own the X-Men rights again. You're a mutant again." What were you saying?
Who's writing this?
Al Ewing and
Okay.
Valerio Schiti is the artist. Ewing's a god tier writer, and I'm glad I'm glad Immortal Hulk is ending so we can take over like Cosmic Marvel. So, But like, there's some really good pages like this. Oh wait, you can't see it. Never mind.
I wish I could.
I forgot
Show
you can't see
show it
it.
show it on the Twitch anyway, and we can be like, oh yes, it's
Yeah.
very good.
Right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that pencils.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna. Yeah, here's a really good like one page like splash page of Sheedy on Sword. I do want to point out like there's a page where Captain America is like talking to Doctor Doom about like Iron Man showed me a future device. In the moment I saw a man step on the moon, I felt hope again. And talking about like where there are rockets, where there are bases that people live there, and I'm like, well, we didn't go there for exploring. We went there to build we made the rockets to build missiles. That was why we made them, not because we wanted to explore, but because we wanted to improve our IMBC technology.
That's true.
Our ICBM tech. Zach, you're muted.
The hell are you talking about?
Well, we had to get the space there.
The space program, like the rockets.
It was to go to the moon. We're gonna put a man on the moon. I remember Kennedy. I wasn't there, but I remember watching Kennedy.
Zach was there.
I wasn't there, but I was there.
Zach was there apparently.
I was there in 1962 when I saw John F. Kennedy graduate from Clone High.
Yeah.
Or 1963 when.
Oh no!
Don't say
it. This episode of Bogenrieder Variety Hour is sponsored by the Beyond Corporation.
Oh God!
When Magneto tried to stop the Winter Soldier from killing him,
I don't
because he
think
was
this
secretly
episode.
a mutant.
Do what?
Oh, Winter Soldier on grassy Knoll Hill. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
And Magneto trying to
God.
save him because he was actually a mutant.
Or Ultimate Red Skull, aka Captain America's son, being the one that pulled the trigger.
No, I love the idea that like Magneto tried to stop the Winter Soldier from taking out JFK, but then everyone was like, "Look, Muty, kill him!" And then they shot JFK.
Yeah, that was in the Days of Future Past movie because apparently JFK was actually a mutant. And do we agree that if JFK was a mutant, his power was pheromones?
His power was
Jesus
being
Christ.
his power was being fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
Marilyn
pheromones,
Monroe thought
Except for
so.
his power was fucking up the Bay of Pigs, but
Yeah, but he had Marilyn Monroe. He didn't care.
he stopped the Cubans. That's all they cared about.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
Jesus. Also, Nova punched Magneto, which is awesome.
Yes. Wait,
Someone
why
had
is
to.
Nova there?
Because Sword's the mutant space program now.
Space.
And Nova's there because of the Hellfire Gala thing. They got invited because Sword was going to donate their new mystery meat to the galaxy, and so they invited Nova because he's the representative of Earth in the galactic sphere, and so they fought each other on the peak. It was good. It was in Guardians of the Galaxy number 15. Good stuff.
Is Sebastian Shaw in Krakoa?
Yes, he is. He's in
Is he in good
Marauders.
standing?
Kind of. He's on the Quiet Council, but Kitty and Emma beat the shit out of him.
Okay, because this is a guy who he's a mutant. He built and manufactured Sentinels and programmed them not to see him as a Sentinel just so he could make some money off of the whole thing. So he's forgiven, but Scarlet Witch isn't.
Yeah. Because
Come on.
Sebastian
She
Shaw
was
has
Yeah.
because Sebastian Shaw has economic ties that they need.
Meanwhile, Scarlet Witch is Romani is the proper term.
Mutant
Sabretooth is on Krakoa too, right?
Mutant is the no.
We're getting canceled.
Yeah, we say that every time, but it never happens.
Yeah.
So
Sabretooth's
I'm
also
literally
on there,
not
right?
open a beer.
In
I'm at that
on
point.
Krakoa.
what was that?
I'm about to crack open a
Sabretooth,
beer.
he's there. He's there, right?
Who is?
Sabretooth.
Oh, he's in Plant Hell because he killed
okay.
because he killed humans.
Right, yeah.
And he
That
raped
makes sense.
Silver Fox. He did.
Oh,
Oh, what
God.
the
Did.
hell?
damn it,
He
Greg.
did. He did.
This
Ask
ep-
Claremont.
Edit
Claremont
that
wrote it.
out.
This episode of the Bogenrieder Variety Hour was brought to you by the Beyond Corporation.
Yeah, this is not going to get put. This is not getting put up.
This
on,
is-
on the Apple podcast page. of Spider-Dude experience.
without heavy editing.
But I don't have time.
You-
Okay,
I mean,
guys?
you could edit it. You just like find it and you beep it. That'll
Send
make
it
it
to
funny,
I guess
actually.
I guess it's just trying some of the Krakoa stuff with the easily forgiven villains to be a little bit
They,
weird.
they did a thing where like they blanket forgive all the mutants in exchange for them like getting in line and behaving.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I mean,
So
I could have.
And so Apocalypse is there. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna build a gate to another dimension. You can't stop me, motherfucker."
There you go. Nice. God.
But the last Annihilation event is gonna start. I'm actually kind of excited about the villain.
Hey, listen, that just gives me.
Spoilers. It's Dormammu.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, it's actually kind of a big because I think Dormammu. For one, I'm kind
What's
of
wrong with Dormammu?
We'll have to bargain with him.
I mean,
but-
Dormammu is Carnage's best friend, right?
You tried. but I like the idea of a magic villain being the villain of a cosmic event, and also
Yeah.
I think they've established that like Dormammu in his current form, whenever he like slightly breaches the current our plane of existence, like that's him at like a fraction of his strength. So him coming in his full form into our universe is like massive, like apocalyptic proportions. So I think that's a neat idea for Sword and the Guardians to fight against. I am very easy to please.
I like this idea a lot, actually. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, go pick up Sword. It's a good book.
Yeah. I think I will.
You will have to live with
what was the other book we're covering?
Silk.
Silk.
Yeah, I said speaking of pheromones earlier.
Oh,
By the way,
No,
Emma
we don't-
Frost looked hot at the Hellfire Ball.
it was
She always
essentially.
looks hot.
I will say I'm not a huge. I think you could have condensed the Hellfire Gala down to like 3 issues: Marauders, X-Men, Planet-Side X-Men, and Sword. But it's not like I didn't. It's not like I hated any of what we got. It's just I think they should have marketed the Mutant Met Gala as just those 4 issues.
I think I read one of the gala issues that involved Reed Richards walking up to Professor X and whispering something into his
You're out of the
ear
Illuminati.
after the whole crossover. Yeah, after the whole crossover incident where he built the device
to take away Franklin's powers. Yeah.
yeah,
Or
And
it's
the
or like
X-Men-
the power suppressor collar thing.
yeah.
I think that what that was basically Breed saying you're out of the Illuminati, motherfucker. Have fun.
Oh, see, I thought it would have been I'm a genius. I figured out how to do it again.
Or Memento Mori, which is the Illuminati catchphrase. Because like you see in X-Men number 21, Namor is like, I don't bow to anyone. Then he immediately just runs over to the Illuminati and just says, "Hey guys, how are we going to take these fuckers down?"
I'm actually a little bit amazed Doom got invited, considering the shit he tried to pull with Krakoa by declaring war and having them attack. He trusts mutants.
Well, he's in the Guardians now. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. They managed to wrap his twisted logic around him, so now he's kind of bound by honor to do it. He's totally going to betray them at the first chance he can, though. That's just in his nature. Though, okay, so Venkman says in the chat, I think Zach's trying to breaking out the sound effects because he's trying his best to try and contain a level of naughty humor. I'm not sure if he'll succeed, but he's going to try.
Well, Venkman, are you enjoying the naughty humor?
That's the key.
Oh, God.
That's accurate. I mean, but I enjoyed today's issue of Silk. I think the biggest problem I had was that it feels like it relies too much on exposition. Like it's trying really fast to kind of. It spends an entire
I'll be
issue.
right back, guys.
It spends an entire issue like fleshing out the villain through like dialogue exposition over like flashbacks, and I'm like, can you please speed up the plot? And now we're like 1 issue away from the finale, and I feel like we've got a lot to cover.
Is Robbie Thompson still writing?
No, it's Maureen Gu. She's a Korean young adult author. Korean American, I should point out. Sorry.
He's doing Suicide Squad at DC, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's doing like TV. Is he still doing Supernatural or Supernatural over? I forgot.
That's
Supernatural's
over.
finally over.
ended?
Finally. Yeah. It's been like 10 seasons, I think.
15 seasons.
15? Jeez.
Yeah. The co-host of Voices from the Eyrie is a huge fan. She's obsessed with it.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Okay, so I'm okay with Ben showing up in the comics again on the condition he's spreading his legs out in the covers."
Oh God.
Hang on, let me.
Ben Riley's awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really
Yes, I
have a
said
problem with
it.
him. I don't have
I'll
a
send
problem
I'll
with
send a
him
link
coming
I'll-
back.
I'll
I
send
don't
a-
think.
I'll send a link to you, Greg. Hang on. Where are you in here? I'm going into Discord. I'm trying to find you. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, with Orson Welles as my user pick. Thank you. Oh,
Neil.
nice.
What?
Jeff wants to know what your thoughts on Planet-Size X-Men were. He says he was dissatisfied.
So, I thought it was good. I don't think it was like what it needed to be. Like it needed to be like they really hyped it up. It was like 50 years ago, giant size X-Men changed the world. 50 now in the present day, Planet Size X-Men is gonna do it again. And I'm like, well, that's talking some big shit. And it's like it's cool, but it's it's okay. I like Pepe Larraz's art. I just feel like it was
There
more
you
like
go.
it was more set up than actual real plot move along stuff. The main plot stuff happened over in Sword, which is like not even one of the most important books in general. It feels like the good mutant space politics stuff is happening in this book. I'm looking forward to Jerry Dugan's X-Men run because it has Pepe Larraz on art. But yeah, I'm down to like 4 or 5 books on my pull list once ASM ends, and assuming I don't pick up ASM again. I'll be down to Sword, X-Men, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the Image books I'm picking up. But I'm only down to 3 Marvel books again.
I don't think I'm totally looking forward to ASM being
Oh, and
however,
Venom. I'm gonna be
however many times a month it's going to be.
I'm gonna be reading Ewing and Ram V's Venom run with Brian Hitch, aka can't draw a hairline right. That's right. I'm talking about you, old man. Finkman says Ben Reilly is probably my 4th favorite Spider-Man character. Peter's number 1, obviously. MJ's number 2, and Mayda's number 3. Here's the thing: I can't quantify, I can't rank my favorite characters aside from like Peter being my favorite. That's like really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
It's like saying like, okay, Cyclops is my favorite X-Men character, but like I can't really rank everybody else after that because I love a lot of them.
On my old blog,
Sure.
which no longer exists, I did a favorite character from each
Fuck off, Wolverine.
franchise list, and Mary Jane was my favorite Spidey character. I was actually a little bit surprised by that when I sat down and thought about it.
What the hell? I'm watching a guy like fire a Gatling gun, just no context. I'm not turning on the volume because it's just in my Twitter feed.
Oh, okay.
Zach's out there somewhere cursing my name to the heavens because I...
Bishatsky!
Yeah, pretty much. Because of all the awful jokes I was making. Sorry.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get me DMCA'd on YouTube or Twitch. Thanks,
Oh, God.
asshole.
I'll be honest, I barely even know what Twitch is. Yeah, I'm old.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how to react to that.
It's just a streaming platform. Like a lot of people use it to play video games.
You know how we stream.
video games.
You know how we stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's basically
Twitch.
gets that.
It's like that for video games.
Okay.
Yeah. And other stuff, kind of. Like they started a few years ago. What really took off was they started streaming The Joy of Painting on there, and that became a big thing. It was like a convention, and it's mostly for video game stuff. But yeah,
I might do Comic
cool.
Palooza I might do Comic Palooza coverage on Twitch if I get to go.
there you go.
Yeah. Zach, come back. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. Well, maybe a little.
Well, okay, Twitch, I'm sorry, not Zach. What are we?
Venkman enjoying the show?
Yeah, he's enjoying it. So technically, Ben and Mayday used to be reversed, but listening to Kelly talk about Spider-Girl has me how much I love Mayday as a character. That's not wrong. Kelly's passion for Mayday has done a lot to kind of propel her to the top of my near top of my list.
Mayday's great.
Yeah, and it's not like I didn't love Mayday before, but I think Kelly's passion for the character has kind of propelled her into it, given me a new light to see her in.
Mayday is my favorite heir to the mask, and as far as I'm concerned, nothing against any other characters, and that's nothing to do with her being Peter's daughter specifically. Has everything to do with the character herself, who she is.
She did it before it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If she wasn't Peter and MJ's daughter, but was otherwise the same person, I'd still feel this way.
Yeah. I feel like
while you mentioned Silk and we were talking about Robbie Thompson, the writers, I'll say this: Robbie Thompson also proved that there's no such thing as a bad character, just a bad writer. Because Silk, he rescued that character, made her something worthwhile.
I think if like you made, I've honestly always said that Peter could do a Robin thing. Like I that sounds kind of weird, but hear me out. I think if you did like an MC2 style kind of Robin thing where Peter trained someone and they got his powers and he took them under his wing, I think that could work. It's very circumstantial. You have to do it like really well. But I feel like even if it's not Mayday, and Mayday's the kind of priority one, but if she's not available, then there's another character that can take her place. That can take her place, like Miles or Mayday or not Jessica, Anya, because they've kind of made her into a Spider-Girl-ish character. I feel like if you took the Robin mentality and had Peter train someone specifically to be like the great power, great responsibility personality, I think it could work.
Mm-hmm. I think the only reason why it hasn't happened yet is because Peter's still viewed as, quote, the young hero, and the young hero doesn't have a sidekick.
Which I'm going to be honest, is fucking dumb, because
yeah.
And Stan Lee hated the concept of sidekicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Peter can't be Spider-Man forever, so you might as well.
Yeah, you can.
He's gonna outlive all of us.
That's terrifying. Yeah. I hate how fucking Mickey Mouse is gonna outlive my corpse's existence. Like, it's gonna decompose and Mickey Mouse will still be generating billions of dollars in content.
It's a very sobering thought.
Venkman says, I keep saying over and over my personal headcanon, the original continuity ended with Volume 1 in 1998 and switches over to the MCU universe. Oh, I think he means MC2, not MCU.
Yeah,
and that's the natural continuation of the Spider-Man books.
I've heard this. I used to think this way until, well, there were some things I liked after that. I enjoyed a lot of the JMS run. I enjoyed Mark Millar's run, and this is the only thing Mark Millar's done that I've ever actually enjoyed. I normally don't like his work very much, and the Nick Spencer run has been great also. So,
yeah. I feel bad because like I get why people want to go back to like the pre-Clone Saga era, or not the pre-Clone Saga, but like the pre-relaunch era, the pre-Mackie Byrne era, and run from there. But like you're undoing a lot
impossible.
For one, it's logistically impossible without really taking over the Marvel universe around them, and you're taking away a lot of good runs. Like, I know we dump on Slott and the Brain and the Webheads and the Brain Trust, but like JMS's run is quintessential. I'd argue Spencer's is too. I think
even Spencer showed us that there's things of value in the BND Slott run that you can take and
make good. He made Carly Cooper. He made Carly Cooper not necessarily endearing, but he made
tolerable.
He made her fun to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Negative, there was always potential there, which I felt that Slot and B&D never quite reached, but the video game and has.
And even the Spider-Verse movie has proven that like Slot's concepts and the Miles Morales character can be used effectively.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a really good writer to bring out the individual characteristics of them.
Yeah, full circle back to Silk. I mean, there's no bad characters, just bad writers.
Yeah. Okay.
Some characters challenge that notion, but
I'm probably gonna end this. I'm probably gonna end my stream just because I don't want this whole thing to go too long, and we haven't had a whole lot of topics to discuss. But yeah, I got work in the morning, so I just need to end it on my end.
Sorry if I disrupted things. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it should be fine. I'm gonna export it to YouTube and then delete it, and then hopefully it'll be fine. Oh well. So Venkman, thanks for chatting in the voice chat, or in the voice chat, in the text chat, and thank you all for anyone who listens to the Bogenrieder Variety Hour. I am planning on doing a Bad Batch episode with Paul, talk about that series.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to discussing it because I've actually kind of soured on it a bit recently, and that's through no fault of the animation or the character designs, mostly in the story and the pacing. But yeah, I'm planning on doing an episode of that. I'm thinking of doing. I don't have a comics episode to do. I'm gonna check my content calendar. So we're gonna talk about Scott Snyder's creator-owned Noctera. We have an episode called "My Uncle Works in Nintendo," which is discussing like movie rumors and how you know they're bullshit.
My uncle works for Nintendo. We all knew a kid who said that.
Yeah, I know several. And I have an episode called "Tripping on Your Dick in the Zoo," which is dedicated to like just various topics across pop culture.
Hey, I knew a kid in the '80s who claimed he had a Unicron toy.
That was a major red flag right there, sport.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, did we get a DM? Did we get a message from Zach, or was it just me? Oh, Brian messaged. So yeah, thanks for everyone who attended, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Bogenrieder Variety Hour. All right, stream's dead. Okay, cool. Oh, I should have answered this question for Venkman before the stream ended.
Well, you can still check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, but there's one in the Twitch chat that I didn't get around to answering. That he said Spider-Man's never felt the same after the 1999 reboot. It's always felt a bit off. We've had good runs with Jenkins and JMS, but that's never been the same. I don't disagree. I think that there has been a distinct change in tone. And it might just be like a generation. It might be a generational thing, like the way the way dialogue was written in 1998 has changed drastically to how we write it now.
Yeah, I mean, remember back in the days when every character would narrate what every little move they were making. Then I leap here, bounce, and my fist connects with his.
Okay, now
that's arguably
now you can see my gorgeous mug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I went a little bit too far tonight, I'm sorry. I do apologize if I went a little bit too far in places.
No, you're fine. Okay. I think I actually probably am gonna go to bed because I have work in the morning, so I don't want to stay up too late. So
yeah, let's see if Zach comes back at least.
Come back.
Zach,
come back.
Zachary. Zachariah. Listen to some music. We're
trying to wind down, and he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook and YouTube, and there's still people watching us, I'm sure.
I can't see them.
Should be a Facebook thread. Let me take a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the YouTube chat real quick and see what's going on over there. Oh no, SoFlo, we're not going to bed. It's just I'm ending my stream.
There
Hey,
he
he's
is.
back, my boy.
Hey, there he is.
Sorry, guys. I was having to deal with
That's
a
okay.
phone call that I need to take. So,
No, you're fine. I ended the stream on my end because I'd kind of gone through all the topics I wanted to talk about.
oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that was a bit preemptive. I just didn't want to have it run too long.
Well, let me end the broadcast here because we're still broadcasting on StreamYard. So, with
Yeah,
everybody
so-
watching us on StreamYard, hello, goodbye. We guys will see, as Vinkman says, hell yeah, get your butt
Zach,
back
get
in
your
here.
butt back. Yeah.
He kind of
That's me. No career, no wife. That's just me. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's me too, actually.
He's had a kid in a magic divorce. Peter just seems like a man child right now. Oh, we got Brian. Hello, Brian.
I was just gonna kill time till you got back. I can fill space with words like nobody's business, but there's no reason to continue. I promise one more review this fiscal year.
Oh, okay. Brian, he's our front page reviewer. Hello, welcome to the show. This is your first time on Spideydude Experience.
Yeah, I don't mean to prolong it, since each of you has said individually that you want to end the stream. It's unanimous.
I mean,
So-
Listen.
you
I'm
probably-
willing to spend 5 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
So-
Yeah, like a few minutes.
Okay.
Like,
So Vinkman asked, weren't we supposed to cover an issue of ASM?
No, we weren't.
No.
We are not. If you read the description, it says we're not covering today's ASM.
Next week.
Next or 2 weeks from now.
that comes
2 weeks from
later.
So we will cover this in 2 weeks.
You have to spend your good boy points to get reviews.
But no, listen, I'm going to say this. Brian, thank you for the reviews you've already provided. I know you're busy, so just whenever you can get caught up, you get caught up. Especially right now with Spider-Man becoming weekly, it's kind of difficult to do reviews.
Just do it like once a month, like Bam Chameleon Conspiracy review, Bam Sinister War review.
That may end up being the way to do it. At least for until things get back to normal, which we'll find out. We'll see. It's interesting because I mean, obviously, we'll probably find something out tomorrow. Which, by the way, you guys can post stuff on the front page of Spideydude.com. By the way, Staples has run me and Greg and Adam. You guys have access.
I might do a giant retrospective of Spencer's run if I feel like it when the book ends.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, this show's not ending, but we are trying to, do more written stuff on the front page of
It's just
Spideydude.
beginning.
Jero and I are kind of working
I'm
on
trying-
some.
I'm trying to find new books to talk about because I was talking with with Greg and Adam that like I'm down to 3. So once Spencer's ASM runs, assuming I don't pick up the new run, I'm down to 3. I'm down to 3 books because Immortal Hulk is ending, Beta Ray Bill's ending, Silk is ending. So I'm down to X-Men, Sword, and Venom and Guardians.
You can't drop ASM.
Oh yeah, I'm stuck here.
You can't drop ASM. You gotta keep going. I mean, where else are you gonna?
Don't think, just consume product and then get excited for next product.
I'm probably not
I-
dropping it because I enjoy doing this a little bit too much. I'm having a good time. Probably a
Well,
little bit too
it's
good
fun
a
to-
time,
okay,
some people might
as-
think.
As fun as it is to talk about old stuff, and it is fun. There is a fun element to that. It's nice to be able, and again, when I was on Crawl Space, I scratched that itch. Okay, that itch was scratched when I was on Crawl Space. When I was no longer on Crawl Space, obviously I wasn't able to scratch that itch, and I wasn't on every review episode. I was on most review episodes, but I wasn't on every one of them. So for me, this is fun. Now, I could talk a little bit about what I want to do in the next year. We want to add the Twitch channel. We want to add Instagram. They still haven't kind of deshackled Instagram yet. So I'm kind of waiting, but there's been rumors that they may happen. I follow a lot of tech blogs. So that they may make Instagram and Facebook basically the live aspect of it the same. So if they do that, then I'll stream on Instagram. TikTok is one of those things. My wife loves it. She sends
You
me
don't
TikToks
understand
all-
it. You don't understand it because you're old and
Well,
and about to die.
Same.
Oh my god.
Christ on a cracker, dude.
I understand it. Sarah and I understand it because we are young and vivacious.
I understand it too. It's just the fact
Dude,
that
I'm
there's-
turning 40 in a couple months. Stop that.
Yeah, stop that, Neil. He's only twice your age.
Damn.
Oh damn! But the thing with TikTok, if I do it, I'll probably do like what Bailey's doing. Listen, when's the only?
It's called patreon.com.
Listen, I'm not taking it to that point. Okay. All
No.
right?
Well, you can, but I'm just saying.
Mad respect for those that make great money, being accountants on OnlyFans, but ain't nobody want to see this. Okay, I'm just saying. Ain't nobody want to see this at all. I don't even like looking at it. It's like, ew. I'm like, oh, I'm officially old guy. I was wearing shorts and a golf shirt and a ball cap that I got from the unfortunately named Sod Poodles. Which is an awful name, but if you look at minor league baseball, like minor league baseball is littered with nothing but awful team names. So I was like, is that 821 or 921? But
It's 921.
yeah. So I'm like, all right, what? Sarah, we were going to the game and she's like, why is it the Sod Poodles? I said, because there's a tradition of having awful team names in minor league baseball. And so anyway, I was walking out and she goes, you look like a dad. And I looked down at myself and I'm like, the only thing I was missing was New Balance sneakers. So, all right, Parker Luck, what's that, Matt Bird? So after Spencer's run is over, is there multiple writers on the title, or is it still unknown as of yet?
We don't know.
know.
It's coming. There's information coming out tomorrow about it. We're just speculating,
Has that been
going off of.
confirmed?
Okay, so there was an email. I'm gonna see if I can find it and send it to you. But someone sent me an email,
Okay.
or they've posted a picture of an email, if I can find it, of like a Marvel editorial email that says tune in tomorrow for exciting new for information on this exciting new Amazing Spider-Man era from Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziegler, Patrick Gleason, and Zeb Wells.
Okay. So it's going to be.
I mean, it looks like
It looks like a
looks like-
rotating.
And I'm sorry,
It looks like a rotating.
Oh, they're doing that again.
Has been only okay on Miles. I am not looking forward to that.
I like his
Like-
I like his Peter voice, but I don't think it's good enough to carry an ongoing.
No. I'm not looking forward to that. And God, if they go 4
Did you
writers,
read Black Bolt?
No, Cody Ziegler is an artist. I think
I have not read Black Bolt, Brian. No.
It's good.
it's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Black Bolt is good, but I think it's better suited towards Ahmed's more operatic tastes, if that makes sense.
Well, but
I don't think he does. I don't like his street level stuff, but that's mainly because I think he's more suited to the operatic, like grandiose cosmic stuff.
But the best character in the whole series was the counterweight, was Absorbing Man.
Yeah,
So you just write Spider-Man as Absorbing Man. It's easy.
Well, isn't Absorbing Man an Immortal Hulk?
yeah. He's on. Well, he's also in Gamma Flight now because
Oh,
they
yeah.
they made a Gamma Flight book, which I heard is really good.
Spider-Man and his absorbing friends.
Oh God. Listen, again, I get it. I also think that there's a little bit of, okay, we just wrapped up a legendary, what some would consider a legendary run. We're kind of rebooting back to 2007. Let's do this Spider-Man weekly stuff. Let's get Spider-Man to 1,000 with it by the end.
after we get OMD the sequel, we're getting Brand New Day the sequel.
Followed by Big Time the sequel, followed by Superior Spider-Man the sequel, followed by Parker Industries the sequel, followed by Nick Spencer's Spider-Man the sequel.
What comic book artists always make you feel happy? Like you see their art and it just automatically makes you feel good, regardless of your reboots. For me, it's
Ramita Sr.
Alex
Yeah.
Milne.
For Vinkman, it's Mike Ringo and Mike Parabeck, both R.I.P. Yeah, I would say, and I follow him on Facebook. But Stephen Butler is a guy. Anytime I see his artwork, but let's be real, and of course we're all going to say this because he's a friend of the show, of the site. Ron Friends, obviously, is one of those
Sure,
that just
yeah.
makes me smile. I agree with Mike Ringo, especially I loved his, and I'm looking forward to when we get to
I
Forgotten
love his
Era.
Fantastic Four run.
When we get to Forgotten Era, the thing that I'm looking forward to most is rereading the Sensational run with him and and Todd DeZago. Because that to me, like Clone Saga, obviously is a big part of my childhood, and there's some very, very intense feelings about the Clone Saga as a result of my childhood too, which I'll get to when I talk about it on CSC's final episode. But Mike Ringo's work, Joe Bennett's work, on ASM.
You mean right? Well, Joe. Wait. Oh yeah, Bennett did do ASM. Sorry.
Yeah, Bennett. Yeah, Bennett. Bennett was supposed to be just a fill-in, and then he became the permanent artist because Steve Skaros couldn't keep a monthly schedule. I don't know what happened to Greg. Greg just ran away.
He just unicroned out of there.
He just noped out of there because he's using his laptop. But no.
Gotta get my knife. I'm gonna fight you on the
Luke
side of the
Ross.
street.
Luke Ross's spectacular work was awesome. But you had J.M.D. Mateus, you had Tom DeFalco. You had Zago. You had.
Are we talking about just
Howard Mackie?
Spider-Man artists, by the way, or is this like?
For me, I would say Spider-Man artist just because I primarily read Spider-Man, but Dan Jurgens Superman, Jerry Ordway's Superman, I think is awesome.
Okay, because I'm thinking like Alex Milne, who's a lot of Transformers work.
Kentaro Miura.
Valerio Valerio Sheedy, Pepe Larraz. Like a lot of new. I have a lot of modern artists on mine. Oh, Sal Buscema. Like every time I see him, you can't go wrong with our pal Sal.
Listen, by the way, if you guys have not ordered, I think the cutoff is this next week. If you've not ordered the Hero, their book,
Heroes Union.
Heroes Union, go order it. Ron Friends has it on his
Kickstarter. Yeah,
it's I have got it ordered. So I will probably do a review on the show of it, talking about it and everything. But yeah, it'll be fun. Brian, who's some artist that you enjoy? I know you're muted.
I don't. Well, yeah, but that's because you don't need my heavy breathing. I don't. I can't distinguish between Spider-Man artists the way I can only tell like really different. So like Mike Allred,
yeah,
you always get the feeling like he's having a good time, and it just shows I forget. But the artist who does Usagi Yojimbo, even when people die, it feels like they get like a little smiley skull kind of. It's a little goofy.
Oh, I do want to point out Stuart Immonen. It's a shame that he doesn't do interior work anymore, or he doesn't do on like big stuff anymore. No,
he just does like indie stuff now, kind of.
Yeah, he's not doing monthly stuff like monthly ongoings, but like his art is something that like didn't redeem Slot's run, but it definitely made it worth reading somehow.
I like Chris Somney quite a bit. I think he's one of the best artists in the biz right now.
I'm going to say Frank Parr. He was the director on Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He was a co-producer on Gargoyles, and he's always posting art on Facebook every now and then. He'll share some behind-the-scenes artwork or just some artwork he draws for fun. He does a lot of heavy ink art, and he's fantastic. I mean, I'm amazed he hasn't been ever recruited by any of these comic companies to draw a run because he's good.
Oh, and Stegman. I forgot to list Stegman now, but he's definitely one of the modern greats.
Yeah, by the way, Jero brought up Sal Buscema on that run with Robin. But there's a podcast I guess start on with Chris Denmond. He and I'm trying to find the trying to find the podcast network that he's part of. Anyway, I'll find it in a second, but he does a great job on that show. it was a really fun time I guest starred on the Spec 149 episode. So he's basically starting from the beginning of Sal's run with Jerry Conway and goes all the way through to Spec 217. And his exact words to me on the episode that I guest starred on was, and if you want to know more, listen to Clone Saga Chronicles.
There you go.
So, he's like, I stopped at Clone Saga Chronicles because I didn't want to like crap on Sal's later work but again, I don't blame Sal on that. That's more the inking problem with Bill Sienkiewicz, who's a great artist on his own, but just not a great inker.
Oh yeah,
They were not a good combo.
I talked about this on my stream last night, actually, before Mike came on, about how Bruce Timm has some really weird tastes in portraying women in fiction, especially Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as creepy as some, but he's definitely more creepy than most.
There's some serious problems with Bruce Timm's portrayal of Batgirl.
Yeah,
Like once Paul
and
Dini is no longer
Batwoman.
He's only creepy to cartoons.
Well, that reflects on his character in real life, though. Even if he's not, it's like people who this definitely crosses into like a weird question of like, is anime and real life the same in terms of like how you? It's a really weird, morally quagmire tier argument.
God, Greg, are you getting flashbacks to the Thomas Mattis days?
No, I'm getting flashbacks.
Is that not?
I'm getting flashbacks to someone who you don't know, who I've mentioned a couple of times, who came out to me before I stopped talking to him. As I'm not going to go there, but let's just say he had a big collection, which he admitted to me during his final conversation, of Penny from Inspector Gadget bondage.
No! Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
I am really glad I killed the stream.
We're still live. What a friend we have in Jesus.
I think we should call it a night.
And you can tell. And you can tell I was not even
end
trying
the
to
stream
joke
on
that
that,
time.
though.
You can tell I wasn't even trying to joke with that when I was disgusted.
Yeah, listen.
No, I know, but it's still.
I get that Rule 34 is a thing, and I had to explain that to my wife, which was hilarious. She goes, "What's Rule 34?" And I was like, "Just Google." And she
I'm
goes,
amazed she didn't know.
"She didn't know. The poor, sweet, innocent child didn't know that Rule 34."
That actually kind of
exists."
reminds me of several years back. My mom said to me, "Greg, are you aware there's a lot of rude people on the internet?"
Hang on. You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Why does that sound like
Daryl,
fucking Marge?
I get what you're
Simpson
saying.
and
I understand what you're saying, but the problem is that when you get people like, let's say Drake Bell, for example,
in positions of power, they influence the workplace culture around them.
Unfortunately, it becomes problematic, and I've I haven't listened to it in a while, but I remember when Stella reviewed The Killing Joke and the whole
The movie or
the movie.
Yeah.
You can also listen to her do the book too, but
Mhm.
you know, she went on a full-blown rant, and nobody like
Did she swear? Because when I saw that, I said to myself, if anything ever makes Stella swear in public, it's going to be this.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying, and I understand how you're saying it, Jero, but it's one of those things where I question the judgment. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do it behind closed doors or whatever, fine. But it just
that opens up a lot of doors. Like, what happens behind those closed doors, though?
well, that's true.
Mhm.
But you know, as long as it's not harming anybody else, that's where I draw the line. Does that make sense? If you start harming other people, then yeah, that's no go.
I feel like that should be like the bare minimum.
Right.
There's like 30 more asterisks attached to that, but like that should be like the base condition for
right
whether or not your thing is hurting someone.
But it it raises eyebrows, and that's where I feel like the thing with, for example, the thing with Drake Bell. When I first heard about it, it raised an eyebrow when I first heard, okay, he's being a bit of a creeper. But then it was a continued pattern of accusations and stuff. And it's like, okay, this clearly is behavior that is being done no matter what the circumstances behind it are. He was a child actor. It's not okay.
No.
You know, there's rules, there's reasons, there's laws, and they're designed to protect groups of people, and it makes it incredibly problematic. For me, the thing is that, you know, Disney's not going to take Ultimate Spider-Man down. Why would they?
It was insanely profitable. Like we clown on it, but
yeah. Listen, nobody talked more smack on Ultimate Spider-Man than Greg and me. Okay. We talked all sorts of smack. Now, granted, that was 10 years ago, and we're much different people now. But you know, I would love. I mean, somebody brought it up to see the Keaton cut of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That'd be fun because it was
like what they did with.
It's out there, isn't it?
It's like I know I know they have. I think they have the MP3 files or whatever they use to splice into the show. Yeah, I think I have it in the editing room somewhere.
And Darren Norris. Don't forget, Darren Norris got dubbed over too.
Did he?
Yeah, he was in that.
I thought they kept Darren's audio.
No, they dubbed him over to J.K. Simmons, which nobody complained about because everyone loves J.K. Simmons as Jameson.
Okay,
so.
okay, that like
that one's a bit hard. That one's not as like egregious because like,
although you could argue that Darren was playing a variation of J.K.'s
character. Yeah,
I think it started
like,
that way, but he ended up
more,
making it his own. But
I
agree with that.
Spectacular Jameson was much more animated, pun intended, version of J.K. Simmons' character, who was already very energetic, but they use animation to make him a lot more fast paced.
Well, and I think the voice direction was, you know, yeah, I think, and even Darren kind of admitted that it did start that way, but then it, you know, once you do it for several episodes, it just becomes your own.
And then Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think, didn't have like the right, not necessarily art style, but like the right fluidity for Jameson.
Yeah,
that's a very subjective argument, but like
it'd be interesting to. I haven't watched. I watched the. God, what did I watch? I watched the first 3 episodes, I think. Of which
show?
Recently of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and I mean I watched it when it came out, but I haven't watched it since.
It's definitely a lot more stylized than something like Avengers Assemble, which is made to basically capitalize on the movies, but it's a bit more detailed and a bit more, I don't want to say realistic, but it's definitely not as stylized as Spec, which is intentionally low detail so that it could be a lot more fluid in its animation.
And the funny thing about that was I thought that Avengers Assemble, the one that came after Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I thought it looked really cheap, to be honest.
No, yeah, like the character designs are a lot more detailed, but that makes it a lot harder to animate.
Yeah.
So that's why they like. There's this one WM file or WebM file that I saw of like Captain America and Captain Marvel just floating in space. They're just floating. They're not even like flying or anything.
Yeah, it's really one of those things that I
remember I described it to someone saying they look like moving color forms.
Oh no. Well, it became the art style. Like that art style is based off of the Ultimate cartoon, and then obviously Guardians of the Galaxy spun off too because there was this Guardians series too,
and like the Hulk Agents of Smash thing.
Yeah, the Hulk Agents of Smash, and they all use that same art style because they're all technically part of the same universe.
Yeah. I haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Man of Action art style, as we call it.
Yeah, the Man
of Average.
Ooh.
The man of Ben 10 Alien Force.
Yeah, I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy the cartoon, but I'm obligated to say it's good because Vanessa Marshall is Gamora in it, and she's a friend of the site. So
We've talked. Hang on, go back to that one that Matt posted about Joe Quesada. We've talked
Okay.
about. We've kind of talked about this before. That like, you can tell there were personal events in Quesada's life that not necessarily impacted his decision making on ASM, but like, it's very hard to figure out where the line between your personal life and how your personal life impacts your work. It's a very blurred line. It's not very easy to figure out where exactly the line is crossed.
also the whole Joe Quesada ruined Marvel thing. Okay, I didn't like what he did with Spidey, and I think a lot of Quesada's run is colored by what he did with Spidey. But let's also be honest. Look at where Marvel Comics was before Joe became EIC, and then look
Listen,
where it
if
was.
you-
It was her. It was the
if you go
Harris.
back- if you go back and look at the Harris administration and what was going on with Bob Harris and what was going on behind the scenes, and we talk about this on Make My Mayday a lot because of obviously the transition, because Spider-Girl was literally one of those titles that straddled those two eras. Bob Harris is entirely responsible for Spider-Girl existing. Okay. So on that regard, I have to give Bob Harris a lot of credit. But when you go back and you look at what the draconian stuff that was happening behind the scenes before Quesada got there, Harris, you had the sale, and then you had Perlmutter coming in and basically doing everything he could to cut costs. The amount of titles that were being published, and then they decided to, whenever Jameis came in, and some of the things that Joe Quesada gets blamed for, Jameis was responsible. Okay, Jameis was the one that pushed the envelope. Now we don't talk as much about Alan Fine either, but Alan Fine, I think, gave Joe a lot more autonomy,
And Buckley.
and Dan Buckley too. Both of them did, and so
Every time I think of Buckley, I think of Loss, the Control Alt Delete comic.
Yeah.
But I look at the good things that Joe Quesada brought. The trade paperback program is an incredible thing that him and Jameis developed together. The fact that the Ultimate Universe helped, as for good, bad, or indifferent, it did help facilitate making things attractive enough for Marvel to become in the movie rights and everything like that. Because think about how much the Ultimates influenced the first Avengers movie. Think about that. You kind of think about how Ultimate Spider-Man's influenced Spider-Man in the MCU. And it influenced Andrew Garfield. And look, there's an entire generation that grew up. Ultimate Spider-Man's their Spider-Man. Good, bad, or indifferent. So, having been a part of the fandom from the bankruptcy era to now, Joe Quesada is responsible for righting the ship in a lot of ways. Now, my concerns about Phase 3, we'll see. I'm excited for Black Widow. Shang-Chi, I'm kind of like, all right, cool. Eternals, I don't care. Like, that's the first MCU film that I'm going, I really don't care. I'm hoping to be amazed and wowed, but like the trailers don't speak to me in the way that the trailers spoke to me with Guardians. Like Guardians, I was concerned about. Literally. I was like, how are you going to pull off Guardians of the Galaxy? Then I watched the first trailer and I went, okay, I'm in. You've sold me. I'm still going to go watch Eternals in the theater because I've watched every other MCU property in the theater. The only exception is probably going to be Black Widow. I may end up doing Premiere Access because my wife wants to go with me, but I'm going to be out of town. So, ow, as I pull and yanked on my headphone. So, but I'll probably go see it in the theater. If I don't, then I'll pay the $30, unfortunately. But, Phase 3, I'm like, okay, the Marvels. So it's not Captain Marvel 2, it's the Marvels. Okay, all right, Ms. Marvel. Listen, I completely changed my mind on Ms. Marvel when I picked up the hardcover for $6. Okay. I was like, I don't care. Like, this doesn't speak to me. Then I read her series and I'm like, okay, it's a really fun, cute book. Okay. All right. I love being proved wrong. You know, I've read the current Iron Man book. I have no idea what the hell's going on in Iron Man. Korvac, don't know nothing about. Like I remember seeing people use that code name on message boards. It's the only thing I know about Korvac. I know he's an Avengers character and he's like a classic Avengers character, but I don't know enough about Korvac to care. Only reason I'm reading Iron Man right now is because Scarlet Spider's showing up. So, yeah. But anyway, so like I say, Joe Quesada made some mistakes. His tenure as EIC, and if you look at anybody's tenure as editor-in-chief, DeFalco made mistakes. Shooter made mistakes. Roy Thomas made mistakes.
Stan
made mistakes. Exactly. Like, as much as we want to deify and glorify Stan Lee, as editor, he made some mistakes. So we gotta get off the haterade of Joe Quesada, because I remember I saw this on Twitter today and it was funny because somebody went, unironically, Brand New Day is the best since Stan and Steve. What? One, and he was being a douche, which again, guy on Twitter being a douche, not a far stretch. Okay. But you're telling me that Brand New Day is the best in Stan and Steve? I hesitate to understand how Michelle Gonzalez sleeping with Peter Parker is the best in Stan and Steve, or Peter Parker macking on some random chick that we don't even know her name. Why for Reality Slap is the best in Stan and Steve? Again,
because bitches be crazy.
Ed.
Also, I'm fine. My mom's needing help getting the dog out from underneath the couch.
well, I'm glad you're not dead. Stan once told artists to draw Iron Man's helmet with a nose, then a year later asked why he has a nose and to get rid of it. I mean, yeah. That's one of Roy Thomas's favorite stories.
Whoops.
What would he look like with a nose?
I would argue that Stan
everybody's
made
like,
some really big mistakes, but we're not going to go. But we're not going to go there, especially that new
Stripperella
hit
is
book
a
about him that
profound
was
mistake.
out. But
I mean, let's be real. Stripperella was like, really? Why? What were you saying, Greg? I didn't mean to step all over you.
and no matter how you slice it, I mean that while I'm not one of those people who says that Stan did nothing, not at all. I think we can all agree Stan could have done better by Steve and Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt. The amount of ego and look, I have started to read that autobiography that was done recently, or the biography of Stan that was very mean-spirited and basically called him a con artist and all that stuff. Started to read it, but at least with Marvel the Untold Story by Sean Howe, he was fair. He wasn't deifying Stan. It just kept the facts. And anybody that reads into Marvel for any digs into Marvel for any depth, you're gonna learn that. You're gonna learn that, hey, Stan wasn't perfect. Stan was a great idea guy.
No one is. That's just an objective fact of life.
Exactly. Like Stan the ambassador, well, there was no better comic ambassador. Stan the the cheerleader for Marvel, Stan the corporate mascot. Okay,
Stan the salesman.
Stan was one of the best. Yeah, I mean, and he came. I mean, he learned.
I don't say that as an.
Goodman
I don't
was
say that.
also-
I don't say that as an insult. By the way, I'm just saying that as an objective.
No, it's true because I mean, he learned from Martin Goodman, the art of sales. I mean, you go back and Martin Goodman does not get talked about nearly enough in terms of the impact that he made ultimately by hiring Stan, the stuff in the 40s, the stuff in the 50s. I mean, he was an incredible salesman. And so he learned, and so Stan learned a lot of that through osmosis, some of it, but learned from Martin Goodman. And, it just, I don't think if you don't have Martin Goodman and Stan Lee in each other's orbit, you don't have this podcast. You don't have Spider-Man. You don't have Fantastic Four. You don't have the Avengers. You don't have Thor and Ant-Man. And
You don't have any of us.
You don't. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here right now without Martin Goodman and Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby. I mean, those are. Yes, we also put Steve up there, and don't get me wrong, Steve is largely Stan and Steve. In my history page on Spideydude.com, I thank Stan and Steve specifically, and John, because those three guys provided the foundation for Spider-Man. We wouldn't be here without them.
So real quick, I hate to be that guy, but I gotta go to bed. I just wanted to.
Well, and I was gonna kind of go around and wrap it up, and because we got to the 2-hour mark, and I was kind of trying to get there when I saw how much time we had left. So,
Yeah, but I think that Casada comment kind of had to be addressed.
yeah, and look, Matt, I get it. I get your anger. I get your frustration.
We were there.
We were there. I mean, I was. We were in the trenches. We were in the back. I remember. Look, I mean, you followed me for enough years, Matt. You know how I felt at the time about the One More Day situation and everything like that. And those that haven't, you can go listen to the archives of the Crawl Space, because that's when I was doing all that stuff. You can listen to the archives of this network, CSC, and even Spec Radio, where we talk about those things. But we've got to also. We can't just, when we're in the fog of it, it's really easy to just sit there and do hot take after hot take after hot take after hot take. But one of the things that I've tried to do differently as I started doing this show by myself and being the lead dog here, is to try not to do nothing but hot takes and try to be a little more nuanced and try to take a step back. And part of that comes with age. I was in my 20s when I was doing those other shows, and I'm now in my early 30s now. So I know that changes over time. But regardless, that we had to address that. So, Greg, final thoughts.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you for everything, as always.
Brian?
So I didn't listen to most of this, and I'm just trying to decide if I should say I agree or disagree with everything that was said, but one of them.
Well, you're juggling other things right now, so I appreciate you jumping.
I may be working right now, but same thing, same as everybody else.
There you go. Adam, Beyond?
I guess we'll find out more tomorrow, and next couple months will be interesting. Man, I really like that new suit that they showed today. I think that's a beautiful suit.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more of that.
I really wanted to be wrong.
Staples ruined me.
I'm sad Spencer's leaving. I am on the fence about the new creative team lineup thing that they're doing. I'm going to hold out to see how that works out. I guess tomorrow is going to be a busy day for us. Once again, we missed the deadline.
Of course, but that's okay. So with that, I am going to wrap this episode up. as soon as I hit the right button. There we go. All right. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the Spideydude Experience and this special simulcast with the Bogenrieder Variety Hour. Of course, you can always find us on our various channels, Facebook.com and Instagram.com/Spideydude Network, Twitter.com/Spideydude Radio. You can follow us there. YouTube will eventually be Spideydude Network as well. Be sure to give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. We are almost to that 100 subscriber mark, so let's try to get to that, and we'll start working on 500. If you want to be a part of the show, you can always leave us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. The voicemail line is 818-925-6631. You can also find our Discord on our front page of Spidey-Dude.com. Join it, become a member of our Discord today, and we will definitely be having some conversations over the next few days on there. And like I said, be sure to follow us on our social media. Very excited about the future in some ways, cautiously optimistic in others. So with that, we'll see you guys in a few weeks here on the Spidey Experience, only on Spidey-Dude.com and the Spidey Radio Network.